Hubbard.
Yo, what's shaking AC?
Oh man, you crack me up. How are ya?
I am doing flippin' fantastic. How are ya?
How are ya?
Yeah.
Is that a Canadian accent?
No doubt, eh? I was riding my moose into work today. It was mint. Had myself some flapjacks with some maple syrup.
Any beaver tails?
Yeah, love those beaver tails. They're delicious.
Mm-hmm. There you go. All right. What are we going to talk about?
I want to talk about ego.
Ego. Okay. Yeah. All right. What are we going to talk about with the ego? Because you, I don't know if you've used that word with me before, but you do rant a lot about the way that you can feel sometimes as an emerging franchisor, you know, early on or even later on. Actually, even now.
Well, I think as an entrepreneur, and it doesn't matter if you're a franchisor or a franchisee or a supplier to the franchise industry or not even in franchising at all, entrepreneurs just naturally exude confidence. They exude like willpower and resilience. And sometimes that diverges, and there's a difference between what's perceived as ego and what's perceived as intuition. You know what I mean? And so as an entrepreneur, I think it's important to check yourself that you're going down the path of intuition, not the path of ego, because you could overlook things. What do you think about that?
I think, well, okay, that's just great topic, because I what I see happening a lot of the time is that people, franchisors, initially their ego gets bruised because they're like, I'm successful as a single unit operator of one business that I started, and everyone's like, oh, look at you should franchise this. So like they start to build this ego and have this like it should be confidence, but sometimes I don't want to say build ego, but like, because we all have ego, it's just how it comes out, right? So then though they get their ego bruised when they start to talk to people. Now I'm talking franchising for sure though. They start to talk to people and realize that they don't know everything, like that they thought they knew a lot, but now they're in this new business. And so I think their ego gets bruised. And then they come around potentially. And then I see established franchisors who it's almost like it's kind of like they get ego because they're so fed up with having been hearing all this stuff that they should do and all this and often being burned by vendors that made empty promises or, just really didn't deliver. So it's what I see with franchisors that get beyond about 30 units is they're often kind of like, I'm good. I've been through, the ringer. I'm good. I don't need anybody's help. I just need certain software services and maybe some marketing. And, I need my franchise attorney, but it's almost like there's this, I don't need help. Like I have this, and it's almost like ego. And then it only gets more and more. And I'm like, but wouldn't it be good sometimes to have an outside set of eyes, lift the hood to help you, or not lift the hood, but to soundboard with. And that's when people that remain humble, confident yet humble, understand the value of creating peer-to-peer relationships and or hiring an executive coach or a leadership coach or those kinds of. I feel like there's two kinds of people. Fortunately, the kind of people that we tend to attract, my team and I, are the ones that have the humbleness to understand the value of listening to other people, and the people that come to our roundtables and the people that come to play bigger.
Yeah, you know what? For I don't even know where to go. Like you're talking, and I'm like, I want to say something there and something there. And
I know. Sorry. And you were wondering why I'm wearing my jacket.
Yes. Yeah. Why are you wearing your jacket?
Inside.
Yeah.
6 degrees Celsius, which I checked is 43 degrees Fahrenheit. And that is cold. And
that's warm. It's 6 degrees here too. And I'm like ready to go in a t-shirt.
Oh, okay. Anyway.
Okay. So back on point. So I usually find that ego comes from a place of scarcity where intuition comes from abundance. So what kind of triggers let you know that if you're coming from a place of scarcity versus abundance? If you're making decisions or you're speaking because you're afraid, there's some level of fear, or you feel that you need to exude confidence past a certain level or degree, or maybe like you just feel like, hey, I'm in business now, I got to be cutthroat because that's what happens in the movies. That's 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 where this is coming from. Intuition is usually a lot more calm. It's based out of the heart, not out of an analytical brain, and it helps you make these decisions, I think, with more humility here. And there's one thing that you said is, if somebody's got 30 locations or 40 locations, or what's so funny?
I just thought about something that happened earlier today.
Okay.
When you were a little kid and you'd go into the library and you weren't allowed to talk or laugh, and so you had to laugh, and you couldn't hold it in. That's what just happened.
So while you laugh and everyone listens to me, okay, tell me what it was.
I was on a roundtable call, not my own, and the software wasn't working, and like weird things were happening. And I was like, I feel like that lawyer that had like the cat filter get it off. That's how I felt. And it was like so awkward. Anyway, okay, I'm so sorry.
Okay, so this is the big profound thing that I wanted to say. This is what I was building up to, what all my ranting and rambling came to. Okay. Tiger Woods has like 7 coaches. Mm-hmm. Tiger, like this guy who's like the world's greatest, possibly history's greatest golfer, still has golf coaches.
Oprah Winfrey has 4 coaches.
Yeah.
Personal and life coaches and business.
Exactly. There's so many different types of coaches. If you think, hey, yeah, I've been there, I don't need that help. I have 30 units. I have 100 units. I have 500 units. I have 4,500 units. That's ego, man. That's ego. It takes a special type of humility to be able to say, it doesn't matter how big I am, I'm going to take all the help I can get, especially if I can afford it, because there's always room for growth. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think it's instead of the word help, you might even help, but I like to position it as soundboarding and say, like, do you see value in having an outside set of eyes on your business? Again, whether that's a coach or a peer, in a peer networking group or whatever. And I mean, again, the people that come to the AC roundtables are so, open. And that trait to me is a trait for success, to have that ability to know that there might be someone else in the room that knows something more than you know.
Yeah, I don't think there's any problem with positioning it as help, because that might be what keeps your ego in check. If you're able to say, I'm getting help, like there's lots of like recovery, addiction, rehab stuff where you have to say that, right? If you're somebody that's always got a lot of ego and bravado, and you can say that through your lips saying, this is my help, I'm getting help, that's going to help control your ego. And that's what's ultimately going to bring your entrepreneurship to fruition and growth, because you can't get through this alone.
Yeah. It's when I just think about all the people that I have had the opportunity to network with over the years, and then especially in the past year through the roundtables. Yeah, it's so clear that people that get what you're saying and understand the value of it are growing and succeeding and not making stupid mistakes typically, or maybe little mistakes, but not the big stupid ones that people make when they don't listen to others and get that outside advice. So it's
And you start to become in your daily life what you're like at work. If you're somebody who's really mean or somebody who's really compassionate or whatever, because you're at work like 8 hours a day, you sleep another 1/3 of the day. So your last 1/3, so your last 1/3, you start to you take that home to your family and friends. Do you really want your family or friends to see you as somebody who's just going to sell them down the river because you got a better deal coming up, because for some reason your ego's telling you to be more cutthroat here? I don't know. Am I being too cutthroat with this philosophy?
Yeah. Well, it is a rant.
Yeah. Okay. I can keep ranting.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I think this is good. I think we should end it on this. I think, there's that, watch out for the external ego out there. Watch out for your own internal ego. Notice the difference between intuition, like follow your intuition, but watch out and make sure it's not your ego speaking. How's
exactly.
That?
There we go.
Okay.
Let's count it down.
3, 2, 1, go.
Be awesome.